No one has to do much when it comes to feeding their pets, let's be honest. It's time to go to the store and buy some feed. We get in the car and drive there. Easy, right? Just for a moment, let's say the feed store is miles away. Oh, and I don't just mean a short drive down the highway. It's so far away that it could be on the other side of the world. For the Amish, there is no way to get to the feed store quickly. In its place, they have learned how to feed their animals with what is available. There aren't any fancy feed bags or high-tech answers, just good old-fashioned farming knowledge that has been passed down from generation to generation. How do they do it then? First, let's talk about chickens, which are the most popular farm animals. For the Amish, chickens are an important part of healthy farming, and not just because they lay eggs for breakfast. Imagine a busy yard where hens are pecking and clucking as they look for food. What's being served? A mix of grains grown at home and yard waste. Having chickens is a lot like having a small business in Amish homes. People grow their own corn, wheat and oats, which the chickens eat every day. Also, this is cool. One hen can lay about 300 eggs a year. There are a lot of omelettes there. Even better, nothing is wasted. Potato peels, wilted greens, and even old bread are some of the food scraps that end up in the chicken coop. It's kind of like recycling, but for food. It's good for them, and they love different foods. Plus, let's face it, chickens are picky. Ever see one fight over a piece of cake that was left over? It's really funny. These birds of prey will do almost anything for a sweet treat. It's not like your cat hunts, because I've never seen a chicken do that. Insects that you don't want in your yard will be kept away by chickens. One more thing. Chicken poop is great for composting. It is turned into soil for Amish fields that is full of nutrients. In a way, chickens do everything. They lay eggs, keep bugs away, and improve the earth. What a great deal! After that, cows. It's not like these friendly giants are just hanging out. They're hard at work making milk. And the way they feed their animals is very much like the Amish way of life. You know that cows make you feel calm if you've ever been near one. They snort, blink slowly and ask, "What do you want?" Look. On Amish farms, cows are fed a mix of fresh field grass, hay and silage, which is fermented grass and corn. This food would make any foodie jealous. What a delicious spread for them. It's full of healthy foods that keep them happy and healthy. A single dairy cow can make 6 to 7 gallons of milk every day. That's a lot of milk. Enough to make cheese for a week or a lot of cereal bowls. But you don't just have to feed cows in the summer. If there is snow on the ground, Amish farmers store hay and feed for the cows so they have food all winter. Picture this. It's cold outside and you're drinking hot chocolate. Inside the barn, these cows are happily munching on fresh hay like it's the best thing ever. That's like you trying to eat a whole pizza by yourself. Cows can eat up to 100 pounds of feed every day. It's not just the food that you feed cows. An Amish farmer might add some sugar or grains to their food to make it taste even better. No one wants to eat the same thing every day, right? Because cows are so happy, they jump into their feed troughs. That's why they're often called the life of the barn party. They care about more than just the food, though. They also believe in being kind to their animals. When cows are taken care of properly, they not only make more milk, but they also behave better. Simple. Cows that are happy give better milk. The good vibes in the barn are almost tangible. Aside from that, cows also have friends. They have their own mooing order, where they stand in the flock. Every herd has one cow that acts like she's queen and rules them all. Then there's the person who always gets hit in the head. It has more hay than soap series. Their milk isn't just used to feed their families. It's also used to make cheese and yogurt that are made in the Amish community. So the next time you eat that rich yogurt, think of the cows who made it possible. Now, let's meet the goats. They are cows' smaller, more naughty cousins. Just wait until you see goats in action before you decide that cows are fun. They are always up for an adventure, even when they're just eating. They're like the comedians of the animal world. They're like sitting in the front row of a humour show, never a quiet moment. That goats can eat almost anything is one of the coolest things about them. If it's green and easy to get to, it's on the menu. There are weeds, plants, and even old yard waste to get rid of. Goats are great for clearing out unwanted areas, which is why farmers love having them around. They take something that could be an eyesore and turn it into a well-kept garden while having a great time. Also, did you know? Every day, goats can eat about 4 to 5 times their body weight. You'd have to eat 5 cheeseburgers all at once. There you have it. Goats are happily eating plants. They are just doing their part to keep things clean. Goats have a very important job to do. They can pick out the best veggies because they have a great sense of taste. It looks like they know a lot about plants. Right now, let's talk about how they eat. Amish farmers feed their goats a mix of grains, hay, and any fresh greens they can find. In the summer, the goats are free to graze on fields as much as they want. But it's a little harder to find tasty treats in the winter. They buy a lot of hay and make special feeds for their goats to keep them happy through the winter. Goats are also great at recycling. You can bet that the goats will be the first ones to clean up a yard that has extra food or scraps. Like they got the best job ever. They get to graze and get paid in food. Oh no! Another funny thing is that have you ever seen a goat try to eat a can? They'll chew on anything. So you have to keep the yard clean. Watching a goat named Daisy at a nearby farm is one of my favourite memories. She would bleat loudly every time I walked by, as if she wanted to talk to me. But as soon as I got close, she would run away, then stop and look back, as if to say, "Catch me if you can." It was really funny. Goats are also social animals, and it's fun to watch them connect with each other. There's always one goat that thinks they're in charge and will fight anyone who tries to get in their way. It's kind of like Survivor, but with goats. Only the toughest goats finish. Goats are fun to watch, but they're also very serious. The way they graze helps the land stay healthy. They keep the grass from growing too tall, get rid of pests, and make the dirt better. They keep the ecology of the farm in order, kind of like little four-legged gardeners. Let's talk about the pigs now. If goats are the funny ones on the farm, pigs are the sneaky ones. Pigs are always ready to play and roll around in the mud. They may not be as cute as dogs, but their personalities are just as great. They're smart, friendly, and really hungry. Pigs can eat a lot of different things. They were the first animals on the farm to recycle. Pigs will happily eat anything that might go to waste, whether it's food scraps from the house or yard waste. Because of this, they are a great choice for farms that want to cut down on waste. It is like having a garbage can that talks back to you. On Amish farms, pigs are generally fed a mix of grains, veggies, and food that has been left over from meals. Imagine that the pigs get whatever is left on the table after a big Sunday dinner. They make sure nothing goes to waste because it's like a family ritual. And I want you to know that pigs are not stupid. You can teach them tricks, games, and even how to get through mazes. They are always thinking about their next journey. They are not just lying in the mud. A fun fact is that pigs can learn to connect sounds with food. They'll run like it's dinner time at a fancy restaurant if you ring a bell before you feed them. When we talk about mud, have you ever thought about why pigs love to wriggle around in it? It's not just for fun. It keeps them cool and keeps their skin from getting burned. What a great way to spend a day at the spa. A pig that is fully grown can eat 5 to 7% of its body weight every day. In other words, that's like you eating a whole big pizza by yourself, pig-sized. However, it's interesting to watch how pigs turn food scraps into tasty meat. It's a circle of good things that happens for the farm and the family. A family friend who raised pigs on their farm is one of my best stories. They had a very sassy pig named Wilbur. Yes, just like in the book. Wilbur would grunt loudly every time someone went by, almost like he wanted a snack. What's funny? He was famous for being able to dig through the yard and find the best vegetables before anyone else. A walk in the yard turned into a race against the clock. Friendly sheep are the next stop on our farm tour. It may look like these fuzzy wonders are calm, but don't be fooled. They have their own wonderful charm. Imagine a peaceful group of sheep grazing in a field. The sound of their soft bars would be a soothing background for farm life. Sheep are very sneaky though, so don't let that fool you. Sheep mostly eat grass, which is called grazing. They eat flowers, grass, and other tasty plants. They are so good at finding the tastiest greens that it's like they have a built-in GPS for good food. A sheep can eat up to 5 pounds of grass every day. It would be like you were trying to eat a whole bag of chips all at once. Think about all that crunching, that both the sheep and the land stay healthy. Giving the grass a chance to rest and grow back is like making sure there is always fresh food. These sheep have been taking care of lawns for a long time, so they don't need fancy lawnmowers to do it. It's not just about the feeding though. Wool can also be gotten from sheep. Farmers don't shave them for style. They do it to take care of their thick coats. Before they are sheared, farmers often give them extra grains and hay to make sure their hair is thick and soft. Talk about taking care of your looks. Those soft coats look a lot like cosy sweaters in nature. There's more to life for sheep on an Amish farm than just eating and grazing. They also have faces and voices. I've been to a farm where the sheep had names and were very interesting. A sneaky sheep named Fluffy was known to sneak up behind people and poke them in a fun way. It was like having a fluffy friend who loved pulling jokes on you. It might look like sheep aren't social, but they are surprisingly so. They do better when they are in groups and form strong bonds with each other. If a sheep gets too far away from the others, you'll often hear a chorus of worried bleats calling them back. It makes you think about how important society is, even in the animal world. Giving food to sheep is also good for the farm's long-term health. Their feeding habits help keep weeds under control and make pastures grow better. Also, the waste they make makes the dirt better, which is great for growing plants. This means that while they eat, they are also keeping the land healthy. It becomes clear as we learn more about these furry hunters that sheep are more than just cute and cuddly. They are very important to keeping farm life in balance. How they live, what they eat, and how much wool they make all show how animals and the land are linked. The rabbits are next. These cute fluffballs make farms happy and help out in the yard. They are like nature's little cleaning crew because their mouths move and their ears are big. They love to look for veggies in the wild and do very well on yard waste. It's a sunny day and your garden is full of fresh vegetables. The slightly limp greens or carrot tops might not make it to the dinner table though. What happens to them? Let the rabbits in. These little guys are pros at making gourmet meals out of things that might be thought of as trash. Throw some extra broccoli or lettuce into their area and watch them jump around happily as if they've found gold. It's like they can sense the best yard treats with their sixth sense. Let's talk about how fast rabbits can have babies. It's scary. A female rabbit can have up to 12 babies at once, and she can do this more than once a year. So, if you start with 2 rabbits, soon you'll have a whole family of fluffy friends. It's kind of like going popular, but with fur. Families who want to get more rabbits will find it surprisingly easy. Just make sure there is enough room for all the rabbits. Things can move quickly. If we're talking about bunnies, I can't help but laugh at Nibbles, a naughty rabbit. Nibbles got into my bag of seeds one afternoon while I was taking care of the yard. Before I knew it, he was running around like a champion with a seed packet in his mouth. He looked like he was planning his next big meal as he tried to figure out how to open it. Who knew rabbits could be so dramatic? In a more realistic sense, keeping rabbits can be a good choice for families. They don't need much room, so small backyards or homesteads are great places for them. Families can make healthy, lean meat while reducing waste by giving them yard scraps and wild greens. Plus, rabbits can have a lot of babies very quickly, so they are a cheap and easy way to improve local food supplies. Let's run over to the smart horses now. These beautiful animals have worked with farmers for hundreds of years. It's beautiful to see a horse plough a field or trot down a sunny road. Their beauty and strength are hard not to be enchanted by. Horses eat foods that are tough like them. For food, they mostly eat grass, hay, and grains. A lot of Amish farms have horses that eat a lot of fresh hay at the end of the day. The best part? Horses are picky eaters, and it can be fun to watch them nibble at their food. Watching someone try to choose between all their favourite foods at a spread is like that. Thanks, beer horses are more than just pretty faces, though. They are very important for farm work. They can pull ploughs, carry things, and even help plant crops. A horse that has been taught well can pull 3 times its own weight. Wow, that's like a teenager carrying around a huge stack of groceries at once. Impressive, and a bit tiring. I have a funny story about Charlie, a horse. He was a kind giant, but he had a funny habit. He loved stealing snacks. I was feeding the chickens one day and turned my back for a second. Charlie was already buried in chicken feed. He looked up at me with big, innocent eyes and said, "What?" I was just helping out. I laughed out loud. He seemed to think he could be a chicken for a day. Horses are also very important to farms' long-term viability. They leave behind manure that can be broken down and used as natural fertilizer to make the dirt better for plants. This exchange of nutrients helps keep the environment on a farm healthy. It also cuts down on the use of fossil fuels when horses are used instead of machines. In a way, these beautiful animals are environmental heroes. There can be a very special bond between a horse and its owner. People who are lucky enough to spend time with horses learn important skills like patience, empathy, and duty. I still remember how I felt the first time I rode a horse. At first it was a little scary, but once I got the hang of it, I felt a link that was both exciting and soothing. When you're on a horse, you feel like you're a part of something much bigger. You'll remember it for a long time after the ride is over. What's next on our farm adventure? The turkeys, those funny fat birds that can really show off. Turkeys bring a lot of life to farms with their bright feathers and cute waddles. These holiday birds are more than just pretty to look at, though. They are very important to farm life, especially when it comes to how the animals are fed. Foraging is something turkeys do all the time. They love to scratch around for bugs, nuts, and plants. It looks like they're looking for wealth as they walk around the yard and scratch the ground. It makes me happy every time I see it. Farmers often eat grains like corn and oats on top of their regular food. Grains are important to the Amish way of eating. A lot of Amish families also feed these birds cooking scraps, like bread or veggie peelings. This gives them a healthy, varied diet. When the turkeys cluck happily as they eat, you can almost hear them. Don't forget how important they are during harvest time. Turkeys are the star of Thanksgiving. When people get together to party, the turkey is often the star of the show. Imagine a turkey that is perfectly cooked, golden brown, and shining on the table. It's the star of the holiday meal. When it comes to Thanksgiving, many Amish families are very proud of their home-cooked foods and the rituals that go along with them. Did you know that turkeys can sense style? It has to do with customs. The fact that they can see in colour makes them a very stylish group. I swear I saw an unseen camera rolling when I saw a turkey take a fancy walk across the yard. It's clear that these birds like to make things exciting, calling all dog lovers. These loyal animals are more than just pets. They help group animals, keep the farm safe, and are always there for their owners. Families of Amish don't go to the nearby feed store to buy food for their animals. They get most of their food from kitchen scraps and meat straight from the farm's table. A lot of what these farm dogs eat keeps them full. The dogs get the leftovers from family meals, like chicken, beef pieces, or even hog scraps that have just been killed. Imagine a dog waiting by the kitchen door with its eyes fixed on the plate for the extra meat to come his way. Charlie was my dog, and he always knew when dinner was almost over. As soon as the plates were cleared, he was there with his tail wagging, waiting for his special second meal of meat scraps. Oh no! Even though meat is the main thing these dogs eat, they also get cooked veggies, grains, and other food that was left over from the kitchen. But they are thrilled when it's time for meat. I once saw a dog eat chicken bones and meat bits that had been left over like they were gold. It's fun to watch them get so excited. But not all food scraps are good for dogs. The Amish know that dogs shouldn't eat chocolate, onions, and grapes just like everyone else. That's why they always make sure those are out of reach. Someone told me about a dog that stole a whole pie from the windowsill and then realised halfway through that it had chocolate in it. For obvious reasons, that wasn't a good day for anyone. These farm dogs are very important in places other than the kitchen. Shedding is a skill that some dog breeds are very good at, and it's amazing to see them at work, running circles around the animals very carefully. Even though their meals are simple, they make a big difference on the farm. Every animal on an Amish farm has a specific job to do. Every animal on the farm brings something different to the daily life. The cows give fresh milk, and the goats keep things fun. Not only are these animals food, but they're also loved pets that are part of the family. How Amish people take care of their animals shows how much they value society, sustainability, and nature. Think about the love and hard work that went into your food, or the farmer with their animals the next time you see them. Every farm has its own story, full of laughs and the special bonds between people and animals that make life more interesting. Let's enjoy farm life and the animal friends that make it all worth it.